Hey, welcome to Tabletop Skirmish Games. I'm Lee, and in this video I thought it'd be cool to find out exactly what does Spinefin do and how can we use him tactically in our Warhammer Underworld game. Elathain Soulraid is the final Warband expansion set for this season of Warhammer Underworlds Direchasm, and what a great way to finish the season. Every Warband's been amazing, and this one's certainly no different. And in there we got these two strange looking fighters that we didn't really expect. We got a crab and a mechanical looking fish. And the mechanical fish is called Spinefin. And when I did the unboxing and went through the fighter cards, it was a strange fighter card that I hadn't seen anything like before. And you can see here are the cards for both Spinefin and Spinefin Inspired, and there's no weapon stats or anything like that. The movement is 0, got 1 roll to defend and only 1 hit point. So I tried figuring it out a little bit during the unboxing and just reading in between a little bit afterwards. But there's an article that came out today that goes into a lot of detail specifically about Spinefin and how to use them in the game. So I thought this would be a great time to go through that article because it really helped me, and hopefully it will help you as well, just to find out exactly what does Spinefin do. So let's head over to that article now. We'll work our way through it, and hopefully by the end of this video we'll both have a better idea of how to play Spinefin in our Underworlds game. Right, so here we go. We're over on the Warhammer community website now, and I'll put a link in the description below so you can check it out too. I've got to say, this is one of the better articles they put out. I really found this helpful, and hopefully you will too. And it's going to go through 10 actual cards we can use to help us improve our game using Spinefin. And it also gives us a little bit of a kind of idea of what Spinefin's all about. And it tells us that Spinefin is unique in Warhammer Underworlds. It's a fighter that can't hold objectives, can't have upgrades, and can't make actions. Also, you don't have to set up the Spinefin. Its shoal reaction allows you to place it after a short delay anywhere on the battlefield as a reaction, even if it's not on the board. And finally, it only has a wounds characteristic of 1, but your opponent can't take it out of action. If it would be, it is simply removed from the battlefield instead. So it says that there's a real mix of ups and downs here, as even though it's easily removed, the Spinefin is a fighter that your opponents will not want to engage with. Any effort spent removing it from the battlefield won't reward them any glory points because it isn't classed as being taken out of action. However, the shoal reaction means that you can place the Spinefin in positions that force your opponents to deal with it, and this can be a powerful ability that's offset by the passive nature of the Spinefin, because once you've placed it, you can't do anything with it except redeploy it with the shoal ability. So the article then goes on to tell us that there's 2 obvious uses for Spinefin, and the first is you can use it to block a hex, for example 1 hex that contains an objective token, so then your opponent can't move fighters into it or even through it, and then it acts as a supporting fighter as well, increasing the offensive and defensive capabilities of your other fighters. And also placing and replacing the Spinefin doesn't require you to use any of your activations, so that's really cool. And combined with the fact that you'll never give up glory points to your opponent when they remove it from the battlefield, you should be able to use the Spinefin in these ways in each game you play. And then it continues, however, there are other uses for your fishy friend as well, and it's going to give us 10 cards that will help us get the most out of the Spinefin. So let's work our way through this 10 cards now and just see what kind of tactics we could use. But I think this is so good, this article, really helpful. Before we start going through the cards, I'll just say that you may not have all of these. They're not all necessarily going to come with Direchasm, and they're not all going to come with the expansions that come with Direchasm either. So some of these might be from Beastgrave, so just be aware of that. But I think it just gives a good picture of how we can use Spinefin in the game. But this first card is one you're going to have. If you've got Spinefin, then you've got the whole warband, so you'll have this card. You'll see at the top right hand, it's got the IDONETH Deepkin rune mark, so we know that that's going to come with the expansion. And this is the Spinefin Toxin, which is a poison, and this agonizing toxin disorients a warrior for a few moments, often their last. And with this, we choose 1 enemy fighter adjacent to a friendly Spinefin. Deal 1 damage to that fighter. In addition, the chosen fighter cannot hold objectives, cannot be on guard, and cannot make range 3 plus attack actions. This effect persists until the end of the round, or until that fighter is out of action, so whichever comes first. And this is restricted to Spinefin. So right away, there's a lot going on there. What a great card, and we've got to include that in our decks for sure. And this ploy, it says, can severely hamstring or even eliminate an enemy fighter at a crucial moment, and can be devastating against an opponent that wants to hold on to those objectives. So a great start. That's the first one. And our second card is called Rocksnake Toxin, and another poison. This amber liquid petrifies the victim from the outside in. A nasty way to go. And with this, we choose one enemy fighter adjacent to one or more friendly fighters. The chosen fighter is dealt 1 damage at the end of each action phase, and this effect persists until the chosen fighter is then taken out of action. And it tells us here that usually playing poison ploys involves significant risk to the friendly fighter adjacent to your target, but not so with the Spinefin, so you can pack your power deck with powerful cards like this one. So there's another poison one there, and then we're on to the third card, which is called Orchestrated Kill. And with this is the Surge, so score this immediately after a friendly fighter's attack action that takes an enemy fighter out of action, if the friendly fighter had one or more supporting fighters. So with this is an easy objective to score when you have a fighter that you can simply place into a supporting position as required. So a great use of the Spinefin there. And then we've got the fourth one called Strength of the Swarm. And with this, it's add 1 dice to the next attack action made by a friendly fighter if the attacker has one or more supporting fighters. In addition, +1 damage to the next attack action made by a friendly fighter if the attacker has 2 or more supporting fighters. And this effect persists until after the next attack action made by a friendly fighter. So a great way, again, more uses for Spinefin. Use him as a support, and then you can make the most of this Strength of the Swarm. And this ploy lets you take advantage of Spinefin to make a fighter's attack action an almost guaranteed hit, and can even increase the damage dealt, particularly if you use the next card with it, which is called Hunt as a Pack. And this, in the first attack action made by a friendly fighter in the next activation, each friendly supporting fighter is considered to be 2 supporting fighters. So a great tactic. This is really cool. So I'm loving this. It'd be interesting to see how it does play out on the battlefield, but it sounds really great. And I love how they've done this article, just literally giving you specific examples and how to play them. So this is really good. So being able to count that fighter as 2 supporting fighters, that's great news. Now we're on to the 6th card, which is Shifting Currents. And with this, we pick 1. We remove all friendly shoal tokens from the battlefield, and then place 1 shoal token in an empty hex, or pick 1 objective token in an empty hex and move that objective token into an adjacent hex. You cannot move it into a lethal hex or a hex that contains a feature token. And so with this Shifting Currents, you're making the most of this powerful shoal reaction, but it can be tricky to correctly time it and place the shoal token in the optimal location. But with this card, you'll have 1 opportunity to put the shoal token exactly where you need it in an instant. So that's great. And the next one is Forgotten Nightmares. And so with this, when an enemy fighter makes an attack action, pick 1 eligible fighter as the target of that attack action, unless during the declare attack action step, that enemy fighter's player discards 1 power card, and this effect persists until the end of the round. So again here, it says that Elathain Soulraid are not the most resilient fighters around, but if you take this card, you can start to frustrate your opponent, potentially for an entire round, and then you're going to make them target the Spinefin with their attack actions unless they discard a power card. And so that's really going to use up their activation. So this is great, really good. Now we're on to number 8, a Risky Prospect. And it says that we have to choose 1 friendly fighter and roll 3 magic dice. For each roll of a critical success, gain 1 glory point. For each roll of that magic symbol there, deal 1 damage to the chosen fighter. And so this is usually a kind of one that's not always going to give you a good result, but it can give you a boost, but you do risk losing a fighter and gaining nothing usually. But the Spinefin's unique abilities almost entirely remove the downside of that. So this is a really interesting one. Again, it's whether you've got this card or not in your collection, I don't know. So you might not even have the card, and some of these you may not have. But if you've got it, this could be a good tactic to go with. And then we're on to number 9, Shocking Ferocity. And this is a reaction. And we play this during an attack action that targets an adjacent friendly fighter after the deal damage step. Deal 1 damage to the attacker. And with a bit of cunning, you can force your opponent to have to remove the Spinefin from the battlefield one way or another, and this card can give them a nasty surprise when they do it. And if you want to double down on that strategy, then we go on to the final card, which is going to give us another option, and this final card is called Rebound. Now with this, it's another reaction, and we play this during an enemy fighter's attack action, and after the defense roll, if that attack action would succeed, we roll 1 defense dice on a roll of dodge or critical success. The attacker is dealt damage equal to the damage characteristic of the attack action, and the combat sequence ends. So, this might cost what they call a restricted slot if you're playing in a championship deck, but would be a really good thing, especially if you make one of their real strong opponent's fighters attack you and then they get viciously injured themselves. I think that's a really sneaky tactic to do and would be great fun. And if you want to find out more about what it means, these restricted slots and things like that, then there is on the Warhammer community article some links where you can download the updated rules in the errata, you can download the championship rules, and you can also download the restricted list, which tells you exactly what you can put in the championship deck. So I think this article for me really helped me get my head around what Spinefin's all about, and I could imagine using him now on the battlefield a lot clearer. And I think with some of those cards suggested as well, I know I've got a bunch of them, probably not all of them, because there's like a couple of expansion sets I didn't get, and so yeah, I won't have all the cards, but there's certainly some good ideas there. So there we go, that's the end of the article, and I hope this has helped you out and given you a better idea of how you can use Spinefin in your game. And now when we look at that fighter card, I think it can be a little bit clearer about how we can use it and some of the tactics that we can employ. But I think the warband itself looks really great. It seems quite fun, and I'm not sure about the Tide kind of idea where they inspire and then uninspire at different rounds, but we'll have to play that into the game and see how it works. But they certainly look great, and here's my crab that I painted. So if you'd like to see how I did that with contrast paints to get him tabletop ready really quickly and easily, then that's up on the channel. And I'll also put a link down below in the description, so if you want to pick up the actual set yourself, then it'll be easy to do at Element Games, and you can save up to 20% with that link. It is an affiliate link, but it won't cost you anything extra. In fact, you save that money for every sale made through that link. I get a small commission, so you help support the channel, and I really appreciate that, so thanks so much. If you like this kind of content and would like to support the channel, then please check out my Patreon page, and thanks to everyone who's joined so far. It's really awesome. We hang out on Discord, talk about the hobby, share ideas and help each other out, and you'll get some perks there that you're not going to find anywhere else. So I'll put a link in the description, and it'll be great to see you there. I hope you found the video helpful. I'd love to hear your thoughts and feedback, so join in the comment section below, and I'll put a link to that article in the description too. But thanks so much for watching. Please like if you like it, subscribe for more videos like this, and don't forget to hit that notification bell to join me next time on Tabletop Skirmish Games.